Welcome to the free masterclass, How to Earn 5K plus per month from the road. So this is my 5-step process for how to create your own 5K months from your RV. And I'm super excited that you're here for this because I think you're going to learn a ton about my exact process for starting a business from scratch and quickly scaling it so you can bring in 5K per month or more. All right, let's get started. You're in the right place if you have a dream of RVing, but you're struggling with how to make more money from the road. That's probably the number one question that I hear out there. Or you're curious about starting a business that lets you travel, but you worry about always being tethered to your phone, right? Entrepreneurship is always hustling. You can't put your phone away. That's not the life that you want. You want a life of adventure. Or number three, if you want to live, truly, truly live while also making money that will support your RV lifestyle. In this masterclass, we're going to talk about three of the biggest mistakes that I've made and I see other people make while you're trying to earn and explore. You're also going to learn the 5 exact steps that you need to create your own business, and you can use them to get started today. And these 5 steps are really going to let you hit the road more often. And then infused in those 5 steps, I'm also going to give you 5 different business models that work really well when you are selling from the road so you can get an idea of what you want to start right now when you're done listening to this webinar. So put away any distractions because we're going to go in deep. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen to take some notes. You're really going to want to because I get really meaty in this. This is not going to be a waste of time webinar. You're going to learn something from this one. Okay, if you stay until the end, you're going to be able to get a special bonus. I'll show you how at the end of getting some one-on-one time with me so we can really dive into what you want to do, personalize this experience for you, really get deep into what you want to do as a roadpreneur or as someone who RVs and runs a business from the road. Okay, let me start by introducing you to 2 different people. On the left here is Dan, and on the right here is Genevieve. So Dan is overwhelmed. He feels stuck. He's tired of being stuck. He's also really tired of being inside his RV, looking out the window, wishing he could go on that beach, but he feels like he has to check in for work. He has to be at his computer. He has to be at the ready. He's tethered to his phone, and he's trading his time for money, which is a really terrible way to live. He's tired of doing all of this on his own. Camping can be very lonely, so can the world of entrepreneurship. And he's sick of it. He wants community around him. He also just wants someone just to tell him what to do so he can grow his business so he doesn't have to be staring out that window. Now let's look at Genevieve. So Genevieve, as you can see, is very, very happy because she probably is getting a very good night of sleep. She's not stressing about cash flow at 3 a.m. She loves her business, loves showing up for it. She also RVs as often as she possibly can. She has a clear plan for what growth will look like for her and how she can achieve it. And she's able to do it while she's traveling. So she can take summers off or work from her RV as often as she wants to while she's traveling over the summer and still have a lot of time for those adventures. She's not stuck staring out the window all the time. She's actually out living that life. So, of course, if you were to ask somebody, chances are they would say they'd rather be choice B here, Genevieve. They'd rather be someone who is able to work hard and play hard and take the summers off to explore and still be able to do those quick check-ins, but not feel like you have to clock in and clock out, rather than Dan, who feels like he's not really able to fully live his RV lifestyle dreams because he's tethered to his computer and clocking in and clocking out and working for someone else on their schedule instead of his own. The number one way that I started to make money from the road, so these are 2 hypothetical people, of course, I make my money from the road too. And the number one way that I did that was by putting myself out there consistently, prolifically, and with dirt underneath my fingernails. But it wasn't that consistency, which can sound very draining, or even that dirt, that really made the biggest impact. What made a big difference for me was taking action. I was able to show up in a way that let me truly live my life, both personally and professionally. And that's ultimately what mattered the most. I knew I was able to serve my audience, serve my clients, serve my students, serve my members, while also serving my family and serving myself. And that's a balance that is so elusive and so many people want for themselves, but they're not sure how to get it. And you're in the right place because now you're going to see exactly how to get it. You can steal my 5-step process for how I achieve this for myself. So, if you're not familiar with who the heck I am, my name is Kimberly. I'm a mom of 2 wild boys. I've got a 5 and a 6-year-old, and boy, do we love to be outside as often as we can be. We're messy middle RVers. That's a term that I just made up. Essentially, what it means is we like to hit the road as often as possible. I'm also charcuterie board obsessed. I love a good charcuterie board. Give me all the cheese and the meat and the crackers. It's all delicious to me. I also am a mountain bike amateur. I'm not very good, but I sure love getting out on the trails as often as I possibly can. And of course, I'm going to get better and better by doing that. But for now, I'm definitely an amateur. And I'm also a serial roadpreneur. So, what does roadpreneur mean? I know you're on a roadpreneur masterclass, but what does that actually mean? Well, for me, it means this: consistent growth, even when you're off grid or on those trails. And I certainly have achieved that. That's why I feel in a position to lead a masterclass just like this, because I'm able to share my experience with you so you can ideally do the same thing for yourself. I've also shared my story in a lot of different places. So if you have heard of me, you've probably seen me in one of these places or somewhere else that there's lots of logos and stuff that could not fit on here. So I've been on the RV Miles podcast. I've written for Rootless Living and RV Today. I've been quoted in Forbes. I am endorsed by RV Life Masterclass, and the RV Life are also the owners of the RV Entrepreneur podcast and the RV Entrepreneur Roundtable. So you can see that I spoke at that recently. So I've just appeared in a lot of different places sharing my story because there are so many people who want to live life on the road and be able to make some good money doing it. I have used my passion for the adventure lifestyle, both in entrepreneurship and in the outdoors, to create a business that really helps hundreds of others. I've already helped hundreds of others, and I hope to help hundreds more people to really live this life outside and really experience everything that life has to offer. That's what it really boils down to. But it wasn't always like this. So this is me back in 2012, and the only picture I could really find on my phone scrolling back that long. But in this picture, I was really unsure of what to do next. I was at my cousin's college graduation in this picture in particular, and I was also very introspective about what to do next. I found myself at a kitchen table after being told by my boss at the time that they could not pay me because they did not have the investor funds yet, and he was going to take his money home that weekend instead of me because I had a husband and so I didn't need the paycheck. That's incorrect. I showed up and I did my work. I deserve my paycheck. And I thought that's ridiculous. So I left, and now we're on good terms. It's all fine. But I left knowing that I wanted to go and be living life on my own terms. I wanted to go and live my life in a way where I knew that if I did the work, I was going to get paid and be able to design what that looked like. And so I jumped into something headfirst, not really knowing what I was going to do, but man, did I have a lot of heart to do it. And I felt the weight immediately of everyone telling me what I should be doing, all these things that you should be doing. You've probably felt that too. I feel like we're going into this stage of tons of marketing messages. And so you're probably hearing a lot of that too. Everything you should be doing. And so, of course, you want to say yes to everything. And there's so many things that do sound great. And so I was feeling that way too. I was trying, I was failing, I was learning, I was feeling frustrated, I was feeling alone. It was not a great place to be. And so I very quickly did the 5 steps that I'm about to teach you. I got out of that path, but I found myself continuing to trade time for money. Here I am, fast forward in 2020, looking very, very excited in this picture because I had just left a cushy contract for more freedom and flexibility. I had tried to keep the same pace that I was keeping before I had kids, before we bought our first RV, and I just couldn't. It was leading to a lot of emotional stress, and also that stress was displaying itself physically in my body, and I knew something had to change. I knew I wanted to help others. I really did know that, but I also knew that I was doing it the wrong way. So this was me very excited about all the changes that were ahead. Fast forward now, and I knew, by the way, that I needed to stop trading that time for money. This is actually a really big thing. I don't mean to say by the way, because this is a huge thing. I knew I needed a business, not to trade my time for money, to clock in, clock out, have an hourly rate. I needed a business that could scale, especially if I wanted to scale my own adventures and my own lifestyle. So by November 2021, this is a picture here of our campsite where I was camping with no cell phone service and also with no stress. But what I did have was four different revenue streams at that time. And it was effortless almost. I mean, yeah, I put an effort, but it felt effortless because it was so much fun to show up for. I also felt very confident that I could take some time off, go off grid, and be fully present on my travels without feeling like I had to go and find the nearest hotspot for internet so I could check my emails or anything like that. I was able to just really unwind. And boy, did that help out with the stress of always having to be on for people. This only started when I committed my life filled with more RV travels and more outdoor adventures. Had I not committed to the RV travel lifestyle, my entrepreneurial world would have still looked very stressful and very difficult. And that's why I'm so passionate about merging the two together. So, this is what life looks like for me today. You can see I'm in Jellystone, swinging on the swing from a tree, enjoying some time with my family in the summer. We also go camping every single winter. So that was me, the top right corner, holding my coffee cup and going outside, just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky to have this lifestyle. And some silly pictures jumping around in the sunsets, because who does not love a good sunset? Sunsets are awesome. Carving pumpkins at the campsite with my two kids and just feeling really good about life. And I want this for you. So that's why you're here today. Now, my business is easy to manage. It's always in growth mode and it's never overwhelming when we RV. Yes, I do check in. I absolutely do check in. I don't want this to be some kind of an illusion that I go off grid and I never want to check in. I love checking in. That's the difference. Is I love what I do and I love being able to check in. So here, let's start off with the three simple mistakes that I see people make so that they can't have that lifestyle. They fall into these traps and they feel really stuck. So the first one is this: it's never making an offer. I get it. There is something about saying, here, I created this, now judge it. And that is very, very, very scary. But if you never make an offer, you never put yourself out there, you never take that action, you're never going to make it possible for people to give you money. People want to pay you. Payment and sales is just a value exchange. So if you don't put the offer out there, you're not really showing up in value. Putting an offer out there means that you're able to raise your hand and say, hey, I can help you with that. Let me help you with that. And it feels really good to serve in that way. The second mistake that I've seen other people make, and I sure have made myself, is looking sideways. So, what do I mean by that? Well, nobody's business is perfect, but when you look at what other people are doing and fall into that comparison trap, look sideways at people in the market who have launched a business around the same time as yours and see what they're doing, and you're always trying to keep up, you're actually really falling behind. So, really, what I encourage you to do is to put up those blinders and go with what feels right and what feels best for you. We all operate our business differently. We all serve different people, even in the same niche. We serve a different type of audience. And so you need to be able to understand who it is you serve and not fall into that comparison trap. And then the final one is sprinting really hard and then stopping. So, stopping usually happens when you get a rejection, you hear no. That can feel really, really defeating and deflating. But here's the thing: rejection is just the beginning. Rejection is just the beginning of some really cool experiences that you're about to have as an entrepreneur. Hearing the word no does not mean no from everybody, it just means no or not right now from that one particular person. There's so many lessons in those negative responses that we are able to really dig deep and then recalibrate and pinpoint what exactly we could do differently. What do we want to do differently? Sometimes that no comes from ourselves too, and we can also recalibrate our own business. So, rejection, even if it's self rejection, is just the beginning. It's not a negative thing. Okay. Are you ready to start making money that will set you free from the restless nights or the location commitment? And are you ready to get out of the RV while you're on trips and really be able to explore? You don't have to just look like Dan out the window. You can actually go and be on the beach and see things. Are you ready to stop second guessing yourself and really start becoming more magnetic? And are you ready to finally get off that hamster wheel of content creation and sales rooted in fear and this FOMO vibe and this eagerness? that tends to lead to the tedious work and the overwhelm. You are in the right place because we're about to dive into that step by step process to making more money from the road. So, step number one, this is where you're going to want to get your pen and paper out. You're going to want to really start to write down everything that's going to really resonate with you that you can take and implement immediately after this webinar. So, step number one is to calibrate and to validate. So, first, I encourage you to go out and look for business ideas out in the wild. Probably the number one thing that I'm asked is, how can I make money from the road? That's why we're doing this webinar. But the first thing I'll tell you is to figure out what you want that business model to look like. I'm going to give you 5 different business models that you can take with you and implement the one that looks and feels the best to you. But really, another great way to do this is to look for that struggle in the wild. You're out there talking to people every day, you're on social media all the time, you're in your inbox. What are people saying that they want help with? Where are the biggest struggles, the biggest points of overwhelm? And how can you look for ways to save those people, specifically time and money? Those are the 2 big things. But really, if you can answer any kind of a struggle, it really makes a huge difference. So, this can range from anything from helping people have homes that they love. If you can save them money on home decor, if you can save them time planning out picking the paint colors or picking out what decorations to put up for the holidays, people are going to be drawn to that because now you're giving them 2 of the biggest resources in life, and that's time and money. And you're able to give that back to them. How can you find those struggles out in the wild with what people are already saying out there and use them to help them save themselves time or money? And then once you have that, pick the path of least resistance, the easiest one to start that's going to take the fewest resources, and go out there and make that offer. Remember, mistake number one is not making that offer. You can go make an offer even before it's time. Go out there, validate it, make sure it's something that people are going to say yes to. Ask them to put their money behind it, to commit to it. So they're not just saying yes, so they don't hurt your feelings. They're saying yes from a place of, oh my goodness, yes, I need this in my life. Where have you been all my life? And ask them and validate it in that way. Now you got the funds to start your business and to build it out in a way that's going to feel really, really good. So here's one of the business models that's probably the easiest to do this with. When you can teach something you know in a course or a group program, you can make money very, very quickly. I'm going to give you these earning potentials in for every single business model, but this one in particular, I'm calibrating them all to those approximate 5K months. If you were to bring in 10 people to a course or a group program every single month, and that course or group program is $497, which is a pretty low ball price and pretty standard for an automated course that you can just deliver, you can bring in almost $5,000 a month. On the contrary, if you get 4 people to say yes to your higher touch program that's $1497, or if it's a really high touch program, it can be even more. Like it could be $5,000 a month. That's a very common price for high touch programs where you're showing up for your people. Well, now you only need 4 people at $1497 and you're making almost $6,000 a month. You only need 1 person to say yes to your $5,000 offer every single month to make $5,000 a month. Teaching what you know is a really great way to get that out there really quickly and help people with that struggle because you know how to help them. You just have to turn it into a digital course. And now you're able to help them when they need it on autopilot without having to be the one always showing up to do the work for them. You're teaching them how to do the work for themselves. It's like that whole expression, teach a man to fish, he'll fish forever. Okay. Step number 2 to making money from the road. Now you have calibrated to find the right idea or a specific struggle that you know you can help with. You validated it. People have said, yes, I need something like that in my life. And you've decided maybe you're going to do a course. Now it's time to go and claim your space online. So when I say claim your space online, this means go and get those social media handles. Launch your website. Do not rely only on social media to build a business. That is such a fatal mistake that I've seen people make. But when you are able to launch your website, get something out there that says, I'm doing this, I'm committing to this, I'm claiming my space online, then you're able to really use your website to start gathering those email addresses. Your website and your email list are the 2 things in the digital space that you really own. You don't own social media followers. We have seen so much in recent years that anything can happen. accounts can get shut down because the algorithm or the bots, they misrepresent something, or they flag something that wasn't really that offensive, but suddenly they think it is. I saw someone who got flagged on Instagram recently for nudity when there's no nudity whatsoever, not even bare shoulders or anything. It was just one of these things where the bot got it wrong and now their account was taken down. Even if it's temporary, it still costs your business money. Your website will be very difficult to take down. And when you have those email addresses, you have that fail safe where you can go back and email your followers and say, this is what happened. So from the get-go, I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole with that, but from the get-go, you want to have a website that's your digital space online. You want to have email addresses. And then you also are going to want to integrate analytics into this because you can't grow what you can't measure. And so as you start to claim your space online, immediately start tracking how much traffic you get. Look at how many email subscribers you get. Test things, tweak things. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but you want to have those analytics set up. Google Analytics is free. Get it installed on your website. It takes 5 minutes and it will give you so much information. Okay. One of the best ways that you can also show up online and really by claiming your space and really quickly make money online. This is how I did it back in 2012, and it's still one of the most lucrative ways you can earn money very, very quickly after claiming that space online is to help others out. And that's by doing freelancing or DIY service. Now, I hear you on the other side of the screen saying, Kimberly, you told us not to trade time for money. Now you're telling us to freelance. What's going on? I'm confused. I understand that confusion. Freelancing is a great way for some quick cash. And when you can do a quick project, or you can have a retainer client where you can batch all of their projects all at once. So if you're a blogger, you can do, I'm going to write 5 blog posts for you per month, and it's going to be $1,000 a month. That's what minimum I would charge for writing 5 blog posts a month. You can then start to get those contracts in place and then start going out there and setting your own schedule. You choose when to show up. You choose how you're going to spend your time. You can allocate your time your way. This is a project-based freelancing. Or a project-based DIY service. This is not an hourly rate. So hear me loud and clear on that. So these earning potentials, the 10, the 5, and the 1 here, that's not an hourly rate. That is a project. So if you have a small project that you can do for somebody, for example, writing a newsletter content, if you can get 10 of those per month at $500 a project, now you have $5,000. If you can get 10 batch clients or 10 retainer clients where you can batch the content or batch the designs or batch whatever it is that you're providing, then you have $5,000 a month. Get 5 of them at $1,000 or get 1 for $5,000 a month. I don't actually recommend the last one, but it's a nice little cash injection. The reason why I don't recommend the last one is because you never want to put all your eggs in one basket. If and when something happens to that contract and you have all of your eggs in that basket, can really, really, really cause you some heartache and some grief, and suddenly all of your cash flow is ruined. So this way, if you can differentiate it and have a few smaller projects, now you can protect your energy and go all in on certain projects as a freelancer, and then have that. If you're a morning person like I am, get it out of the way in the morning. Say, okay, I knew I made my money this month. That's excellent. What hike can I go on? What mountain bike trail can I go on? What new charcuterie board can I go find? Whatever it is, you have that space for adventure. Okay, that's how I approach freelancing. Step number 3 is, of course, to make the offer. And I have in here a few different sub steps with this one. The first is empathy, 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 empathy. If you've ever heard me talk, then you know how much I tout empathy and how important empathy is. And that's because as you're making your offer, 2 things are going to happen. You will intuitively feel how it feels to make that offer. Now, fear, of course, is going to be there. It's always a little bit scary to put an offer out there, at least at first. So have some empathy for yourself, but also look at where you feel a little bit itchy and like you kind of choke a little bit, like, I'm offering this, but I don't really want to offer this. That is a red flag for yourself that you might be doing the wrong business model. Doesn't mean to stop the offer, but it just means to recalibrate it and to go back and say, Okay, I know I don't want to do that one again, or I better charge more if I'm going to make this feel worth it to me. And then, of course, the other side of this, so there are two sides to empathy. The other side's what the customer is saying. What are you hearing back? What are they asking you? How can you answer that? And when you find that out, you can really start to build up your sales copy. You can really start to tackle that in your social media content, in your content, all these different places where you can start to answer those objections up front because you come at this from a very empathetic standpoint. It also lets you sell the journey and not the destination. That's so important. And I think a lot of people get that wrong. So as you're making your offer, you're not saying, I'm going to give you 3 blog posts per month. I am going to teach you how to XYZ. Instead, you're going to bring someone along on a journey and say, we're going to make it easier for you to consistently put out content if you're doing 3 blog posts a month, for example. Or you can say, I am going to make it so much fun to decorate every single holiday. And that way they see themselves in that experience of doing the decorating rather than I'm going to make your house look beautiful with 10 decorating tips that you get every single month or whatever it is that you're selling. Now it's more about the journey because we are emotional beings. And when you can sell that journey, you can make it really fun for them to show up and make them excited about working with you. It's an easier yes at that point. And then, of course, you want to remove the friction. So, as you're making your offer, see where those sticky points are. Look at where people are hesitating. What questions are they asking? How can you answer them in different places? Consistently look for those friction points and you can remove it as you're making your offers to make it easier and easier and easier for people to say yes. And ultimately, you can do this on your sales pages, in your email sequences, so that you know where the friction is in advance. You're a step ahead of them. You can automate that experience. You can answer it without always having to be on. That's where the roadpreneur part comes on, because now we're able to make this a really beautiful, personal, smooth experience from the customer point of view. But we ourselves don't have to always be there. We can go be living our adventurous life and still know that we're showing up so authentically, so beautifully for these people, but not have to be the one constantly regurgitating the same answer, which really ultimately make us frustrated and make us not very personable or nice when we're answering it. I've worked in sales for a very long time. I know this for a fact. This is how people start to respond like, how could you not know? I've said this 100 times, but you've never said it to this person. And so when you come at it from a very empathetic standpoint, but you can also automate it, it feels better both for you and for the customer. Okay, so let's talk about this empathy and supporting others in terms of a business model of what you can offer. I love memberships. I myself have a membership. If you are curious about it, of course, I'll share a little bit of details with this about it at the end. It's not the focus of this workshop at all, but the membership is really fun because you get to consistently show up and serve others from a very empathetic point of view and standpoint. So, a membership also has residual earning potential. When you bring in 10 people at $47 a month, I'm sorry, that should say 100. There should be another zero on that. I know I can do math, I promise you. If you bring in 100 people at $47 a month, now you're making $4,700. Wow, words are my thing. Can you not tell? Okay, 47 times 100 is 4,700. That's how much money you could be bringing in each month, knowing that you're showing up in service of others. That's a pretty low cost membership. You can also do $97 a month and bring in 50 people, depending on the value that you're offering. And that'll bring you about $4,800 a month. Couple more and you're at your $5,000 months. Or you can do a really high touch membership where you're giving them extraordinary value, and that's $197 a month. I've seen that price point for a lot of memberships lately, and it works really well because you can really, really, really dive in deep and support people. You can really, really also make some good money that makes you want to consistently show up. Now, again, I hear you say, but a membership I have to always be on. How would you take a summer off if you have a membership? I'll tell you how. You automate how you deliver the content, and then you choose when you're able to show up. You pinpoint when you know it's going to be an off day or travel day or work day for you. and you decide and commit to it right then that that's when you're going to show up to do a live call or be there for your people. But you don't have to be there around the clock in a membership for them to get really good service and feel really good about being in that space. Because what your job is as a membership owner is not to be always in the community, it's to build that culture of a community. People will stay for the content, which you can absolutely get out ahead on and automate. And they're gonna come for the content and they're gonna stay for the community. They're gonna stick around month after month because they don't want to leave those people. They know them. Those people know their concerns. They know their struggles. They've got friendships budding in this group. That's deeper than any amount of money. And so they're not going to want to leave that. They're going to be able to get that content that you've automated, get touch from you, get that high touch experience from you when it makes sense for you and for them. And then they're still going to be able to be surrounded with people that feel like they're supported. So it's a really great way to show up as a roadpreneur because you still are able to hit the road knowing people, your members are feeling really supported and really loved. Okay. Step number 4, network. This has been probably one of the biggest money makers for my business, and I think it's really, really overlooked. So, forming connections online is huge. It's absolutely huge because these are the people who are going to recommend your business. They're going to give you backlinks, which is going to help with your SEO on your website. These are people who are going to chime into the comments and talk about you. They're going to be your affiliates. These are the people that are going to make a huge difference in your business for finding those opportunities. So, forming those connections online is absolutely huge. Equally huge is to form some fun campsite connections. So I did this a few years ago. I was at a campground. We had the sweetest couple come over around our campfire. We invited them. They weren't just randomly coming over. They came and they sat by our campfire for a while. We were chit-chatting while our boys are out building a fort in the forest about 50 feet away from us so we could still see them. It was such a great night. And very casually, I mentioned what I do, but it was maybe one sentence. Well, I got back home, actually got back online after being off grid, and I had a notification from Shopify that I had a sale. I looked at who it was, and of course, it was our neighbors at the campground. And she included this sweet note saying, "Oh my gosh, I loved meeting you, and I just want to support your business, and I love what you're selling." And it was just very, very kind. And so in these campsite connections with no strings attached, I wasn't there, hawking my goods around the campfire. I was just being me and getting to know people. And when we're authentically ourselves, we can make those campfire connections. It's one of the benefits of RVing is we get connected with new people all the time. And the more you make those connections and the more you going back to steps 3, 2, and 1, you have a place to send them online. You've got an offer, you have something out there and you're selling with empathy. Well, now it becomes really easy to buy from you. The final one is to ask for connections. So often people will know somebody that could use your services, but they won't know to refer you until you ask them for that referral. So networking is all about making connections and asking for connections. The more you can do that online, the more you're going to be able to sell. So I talked about selling that product around the campfire, and this is not something that usually is thought of for RVers is productizing a business because it's hard to store inventory. It's hard to bring this stuff on the road with you. But when you can productize your skill set, you're able to use those connections to sell either physical goods or digital products. So I offer both, and I have a subscription box. The reason why I chose a subscription box was because it's easier for me to ship 1 day a month than 30 days a month. I can make sales all month and I know my ship date. I know when I need to be packing the boxes. I know when I need to ship it out. So I can plan my travel around that accordingly. We can hit the road for 30 days and I'll still be able to keep up with my product based business. That's how it's done. So the earning potential on this is very big. If you sell a $27 digital product, which is kind of like that magic number that's out there, you sell 185 of those a month, you're making $5,000. Now I'm about to show you how, because 185 does sound like a lot, and it is, but I'm about to show you how that can trickle into a lot more. So don't get scared of that number. If you sell a $97 product, for example, a workshop replay or different templates, things like that. You can make by only selling 50 a month, you can make $4,800, 4,850. Again, this can be done with ads. This can be done with connections. This can be done by making guest appearances on podcasts and just getting your name out there, optimizing your website. And suddenly you're able to really productize your business so it sells while you sleep. It's that whole elusive passive income. This is a great way to have that, either with a physical product, if you're a maker, you like to be hands on, or with a digital product, if you like to make on technology. Okay, final step. Stack and scale. So I said that don't be afraid of that 185 number of the $27 product. You need to sell 185 to make about $5,000 a month, because what you can do is you will ultimately all those people will ultimately probably want to buy from you again if you're doing your job well. They're going to want to stay in your world, stay in this world, and they're just going to want to continuously get money from or buy from you because they're getting value from you. They saw what you delivered in that $27 product. Now they want to take your higher end course. Now they want to jump into your membership. Now they want to hire you. Whatever it is, you can build that customer journey. A customer journey is just basically that progression of how people find you, buy from you, and then buy from you again. And when you have that, you can start to stack your revenue. You can start to really build new revenue streams because now you know what your audience is asking for, what they need, and you can continue to build that audience and stack and scale so more and more people buy from you. So this is what I call the choose your own adventure business model. And it's the absolute best model to have because you've got so many different ways you can show up in the world. Chances are, as you were listening to me talk about memberships and products and courses and freelancing, you thought, well, I could do all of that. So what do I do? This is what you do. You choose your own adventure. And the way that you do that is by mapping out that customer journey, and then you can have a potpourri of different business models so that people can really get deep with you, work with you, trust you, and it's easier for them to continuously buy from you. It's also a whole lot less expensive for you to continue to market to them because now they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So the earning potential for this, man, is it big? I didn't even put numbers on it because you can start to really scale very, very quickly with this model. This is where you can mix and match. So think about if you have one from each category, you're easily coming up at the $5,000 months. If you meet those minimum $5,000 from each category, now you're in $20,000 months. Things can get big very, very quickly when you do the choose your own adventure approach. So, if you want to rest easier at the campsite, if you want to have time to explore without that worry about the cash flow or the client demands, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by strategy. It happens by those 5 steps and getting really deep into those 5 steps. This is exactly what I teach. Each of my students has taken the leap into a more freedom-filled life because they implemented that specific step-by-step system. So again, the 3 mistakes that you're going to avoid, you want to make an offer. Don't hesitate to put your offer out there. Stop looking sideways and keep moving at a pace that feels really, really, really good. Over sprinting and then stopping and then stop and go, that gets really exhausting. My step-by-step process that I just walked you through, it's not just some theory. This is exactly what I've used to start 4 different businesses. And it's what I've also helped other people do for themselves and really implement it. So it's been proven time and time and time again. It's not just some theory. So if you're going to take away one thing from this, I want you to know that you absolutely can enjoy camping now before you retire, and you can earn a good living doing something that you love without the burnout, without the grind, without the exhaustive hustle. You absolutely can. If I can, you can. So I've developed that simple but powerful 5-step roadmap that makes it really easy to soak up the benefits of the RV lifestyle. And that's exactly what I outlined for you today. So the big question now is, how can you apply this to your own business, to your own life? How can you really tap into the beauty of the RV lifestyle? Well, I want you to choose to be Genevieve. I want you to choose to work hard and play hard and take that summer off with quick check-ins. I really want that for you. So this is where it happens. This is where I can really go deep with you and really get into the trenches with you, walk you through with a personalized experience how you can design a roadpreneur lifestyle, running a business that also lets you travel and explore and make at minimum 5,000 a month, but like you saw with the choose your own adventure style, man, can you get to 5-figure months very, very quickly. Okay, I want to give you this backstage pass into what you're going to learn inside the Roadpreneur School. So, part one is called Microphones and Mirrors. Now, this is where you're going to find your money makers. You're going to get that step by step, highly methodical way to really uncover making money with ease. You're going to learn how to sell with empathy. There's more to it than just feeling really good about what you offer. There's actually some steps that we take together, and I'm going to really help you clarify your story. We go really deep on how to clarify your story to get that one liner so you're not fumbling around with how to explain what you offer. You know how to quickly and easily say what you offer. So, meet Barbara. This is one of my students. She says, a huge thank you to Kimberly Crossland and my fellow students for this experience. I learned so many things, even more than I imagined. My main goal is achieved, and I got clarity about my business model and feel more confident and empowered. Yay, Barbara. I'm so proud of you. Part two that you're going to learn inside of the Roadpreneur School is how to map that journey. So, I talked to you about the customer journey and how that can really just catapult your growth. We go deep into this as well. I teach you how to outline that buyer's journey with a step-by-step formula, templates, everything you need. We run the numbers. So again, you can't grow what you can't measure. I'm going to teach you how to measure so you can grow. And then we really unpack those new opportunities. It's really, really important to have these. So here's Shelly from Simple Rewarding Life. I have a bunch of small wins, she says. More confidence in working on my website, more clarity in what to include in my membership, and so many more ideas of revenue streams. She's really mapped that journey and made it really strong. Number three, we're going to map the message. So my freelancing career was all copywriting and mapping other people's messages. I'm going to teach you exactly my process for how I write sales pages. You're going to get a wireframe or a template so you know exactly how to write your own sales page and how you can do it over and over and over again. So that's really, really important because you can get to know the people on the other side of the screen, how they make decisions. You can make your messaging more magnetic. You can write those pages over and over again so that when you're on the road, they're doing the selling for you. You can RV more often. You can hit the road more often because you know that your message is strong and that what you're putting out into the world, even when you're not technically online, is really strong and really effective. So here's Rosalind from the Label Link. We've worked together for a really long time, me and her, and she was a student in the Roadpreneur School. And she says, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate all the time and effort placed into this course, and I can see that it will be something I refer back to all over and over and over again. So many goodies, very well laid out. I can definitely see there was a lot of time and planning placed into the structure of the course. Love the videos and knowing that we can come back to them. The worksheets are super helpful. Like I said, this is very tactical. This is not just analytical. Again, well organized, tips and bonus content. That was a nice touch and a surprise. Did I say I really like the teaching videos and the content? Kimberly, you're my Shiro. She's so sweet. You have really demonstrated listening to your audience. Thank you for taking the time to create this. Absolutely my joy. Okay, part four, marketing your business. You're going to learn how to build that content foundation and systems so you can launch with more ease, you can automate with more ease, you can continuously attract a crowd and still be like this girl on screen and going hiking and taking in all the views and seeing the world. It's all about seeing the world. And so meet Sarah. So I love her honesty. She's such a gem. So she says, this is an intense experience. I've waffled between throwing up my hands and feeling more committed than ever. I think my big win is the sum of ending up feeling both more committed and more empowered to do this well from the beginning. I'm super excited to have this group to use moving forward. She's wonderful. All right. And then automations and outreach. Automating your outreach with emails so you can continue to move the needle while you hit the road. Knowing what to send, the templates and the copy support galore. I mean, I got pages and pages of these Mad Lib style templates. So you don't have to spend the time thinking about what to say. You can get it from a copywriter. Just tweak it with your message that we've already clarified. Get it out there. It's really powerful. And then you can also manage the technical side with ease because you got me for 12 months to help you navigate that technical world. So meet Julie. And she says, "What's that saying about when the student is ready, the teacher will come?" Well, you're a natural at conveying the vision for a meaningful and empowering way to build and establish an entrepreneurial business that matters. Your genuinely model strategic empathy. I mean, I can't help it. So it's fully aligned for strategy based in empathy to be a key foundation of the roadpreneurial way. Having taken a lot of courses in business development, I can honestly say that your Roadpreneur School gets 5 stars. You're creating something amazing. Thank you. I agree. All right, part number 5, part 6 actually. Ignore the wrong number there. Simple social. So social is where everybody that I've ever talked to in the RV space gets the most drained because now you're starting to feel like you have to on your personal vacations take all the pictures and it's exhausting. I'm going to teach you how to set up a really simple system for social media. You can organize your ideas and how you're going to do the outreach and the growth with a lot more ease. And so now you don't have to feel like, I don't know how to show up and every single day and you're on that hamster wheel. What do I post? What do I post? I'm going to make it a lot easier. We're going to get you out ahead, let you breathe easy, also make you a whole lot more confident in what you're putting out there. It's going to feel really, really, really good. So meet Beth. So she says, "Today I just celebrated a huge win. I love the huge wins. My moon planning magic workshop is on Teachable and is officially completed. Since September 20th, I've been making resources and creating videos. I've been talking about making an evergreen course for my moon cycle planning for a long time. This feels so good. My 2023 moon calendars are shipping out this week. And by the way, since she wrote this, she sold out of those calendars. I sold a painting this last week that I painted in a creative break, and I sold it in less than 48 hours. I placed a 10,000 greeting card order for my major wholesale client. I also just got asked to be in the third store of theirs for the just in time for the holiday. Thank you, Kimberly, for helping me map out my customer journey for my moon cycle offerings. Having the big picture is huge, and now I can spend the rest of the year getting my eyes in front of my course. It feels so good. I love her. Okay. When you join, you're getting 6 modules plus more that are coming because I'm always adding 40 plus bite-sized videos to watch on demand. That bite size, by the way, is important because we're busy people. So if you're just driving and you want to turn it on, you can listen to the audio only. If you want to just read the transcripts, you can just read the transcripts. It's all in there. Watch it and consume it how you want, but you're not going to have to sit in front of the computer for hours on end to learn this. There are workbooks you can print out, or you can have them on your tablet, do it digitally. There are templates, there's tech support, but probably my favorite part is the private and the confidential group. It's a very safe space. I hold that very, very sacred that we come together to really cheerlead and support each other to the finish line. And we'll pass the finish line because we always are moving as roadpreneurs. So you're going to get a fast response to these hurdles that you're facing and so you can get over them and keep moving really, really quickly. Plus, like I said, there's live support and mentorship. So every single month I'm in there doing a live Q&A where we're going to be on Zoom working together. You're not left alone to just take this and then try and figure it out on your own. I'm there with you the whole time. And you're going to get all the future updates, the value, the modules. Like I said, more is coming, but it's all designed with simplicity in mind. Bonus number 1, when you pay in full, you get 12 months inside the Roadpreneur community. This is where the Set Marketing membership that I told you about, where every single month I give you a very timely marketing playbook that you can use to grow your business. So again, you have the foundation inside the Roadpreneur School, but now you're also going to get those monthly marketing playbooks so you know how to consistently show up, make your offer, and show up. It makes it so easy to put yourself out there. Bonus number 2 is you're going to get access to my workshop, Systematize Your Year. This is where we get really, really hands-on in planning out your year so you know when and how to show up. And we do it all around your travel schedule. So this is all around the RV lifestyle schedule. You set your RV trips first and then your business second, and they all work so well together. And then if you join today, you're going to get a 30-minute one-on-one strategy session with me where you and me are going to get together on Zoom. You can ask questions. We're going to talk. We're going to get to know each other, get to know your business better, and I will get very, very specific with what your business can look like, what next steps for you to take, all the things. I'm there to answer whatever questions you have. Okay. Again, lifetime access for an entire system valued at well over $5,000. That's actually probably pretty low considering I charge $2,000 to write a sales page and you're getting my templates so you can use over and over and over again and my system for writing it out and my eyes on it so I can edit it for you. Plus, you're going to get the 12 months inside the Roadpreneur community where you get your monthly marketing playbooks, your workshop for systematizing your year, and a 30-minute one-on-one session with me. I mean, it's a lot included in here for you. So you can get started for right now for $997 or 4 monthly payments of $297 or I should have put this on here, 12 monthly payments of $97. So for only $97, you can get started today and immediately have me in your back pocket helping you make money very quickly. You know how much of an advocate at this point I am for putting an offer out there. I will get you to put offers out there and encourage you to start making money so this course can pay for itself very, very fast without that stress, without the burnout. It's your time. Are you ready to finally earn while you explore and skyrocket your growth for the next 12 months? Let's make this your year. There's nothing stopping you. This is your time. So for 72 hours only, you're going to be able to get in for this price. And then after that, it goes up. So for right now, if you commit to yourself, take that action. Remember, I said that's when I started to grow my business. Take that action. 12 monthly payments of $97 or one single payment of $997. And you're going to get in and get making money fast without sacrificing yourself, without sacrificing your energy levels. I'm going to really help you get going. I'm right there with you for 12 months. Right there with you. The final step, you can absolutely pay securely with your credit card or with PayPal. And I never want you to be part of something that just does not feel aligned to what you want to do or doesn't feel helpful. So I have a love it or leave it guarantee. If you do the monthly option and you try it out, you do the work, you show me that you've done the work and I've seen that you're doing the work, you put in the effort in the first 60 days and you're just like, it's not for me, you can leave. There's no refunds, but I will stop all future payments. So there you go. Here's just a couple more experiences that I want you to see about what is waiting for you inside. And these are all people you're going to meet and connect with, by the way, because they're still in the community. Roadpreneur School, Sarah says, is the most complete course I have done to date. Kimberly gives you all the tools to really define your client message and your strategy. As a quote, wing it kind of person, I was spinning my wheels trying to do a little bit everywhere in my business. Does that sound familiar? With Roadpreneur School, I realized I had to take my time and go deep. I needed to really get to know who I was talking to and how I can help that person. The best part is that I can do it at my own pace and I find support in the live sessions and in the community whose members go above and beyond to help support and cheer each other on. Boy, is that true. And then Amanda says, Kimberly is different from most coaches and mentors. She is, and I so appreciate that. Different meaning amazing and genuine. She actually cares about each student and shares beneficial and personal feedback. Kimberly is always encouraging and supportive. Anyone that chooses to work with her will not only have access to an enormous amounts of structured and useful tools, but information and also a mentor cheering you on to be successful. 10 out of 10 would recommend. There you go. I sure hope to see you inside. If you go to roadpreneur.com/school in the next 72 hours, you save $500 on getting in. $500. And if you join today, then you also get that one-on-one 30-minute session with me. So to create a business that supports your lifestyle, your RV lifestyle fast and with tons of support, come and join the Roadpreneur School. I really, really, really cannot emphasize enough how much this can change your trajectory of your life, personally and professionally. And I really cannot wait to see you inside. Roadpreneur.com/school. Join now. Save the $500. I cannot wait to see you in.